Yo, what is up boys, and welcome to my first look at a game called Vigor. If you guys missed my video, which I made on this game about a month ago, this game was announced at E3, and it was supposed to be Bohemia's new game. In case you guys don't know who Bohemia Interactive are, somehow, if you regularly watch my channel, you'll know I've played Bohemia's games pretty much religiously for the past few years, obviously starting with Arma 2, playing the Daisy mod, and I tried some other various mods on Arma 2, the Life mod on Arma 2, I tried Daisy Standalone, I tried Arma 3, I tried Argo and Wildlands, which were kind of Bohemia's new experimental games. I guess this counts as an experimental game as well, and even things which I wouldn't normally play, like Take on Helicopters. The TLDR is basically the past 7 years or so of my life. I've tried out pretty much anything Bohemia have released because I enjoy their game style, I guess, as much flack as I do give Bohemia from time to time. Bohemia did reach out and gave me this key for Vigor, so thank you Bohemia for that. And yeah, I'm just going to tell you guys a bit about Vigor and tell you my thoughts and feelings towards the game. As you would have seen from my intro right there, this game is far from perfect. It is right now an Xbox One exclusive. Is there any plans for it to come to Windows in the future? There's no indications of that, but who knows really. But yeah, going back to the whole far from perfect thing, it's not like you can buy the game right now. You just sign up on their website and it's described as an early access exclusive experience, I guess, to Vigor. So yes, they are going to be going with the whole early access thing, so as things like gun sound sometimes not playing. As a whole, the gunplay does seem to be needing a lot of refinement. Also, just to confirm, I didn't actually play the game. I have yet to play the game, although I am curious to try out Bohemia's new games. Like I said in my little intro, I didn't actually record this, which Hero did, one of my lovely viewers, because I don't actually have a capture card right now. So yeah, I didn't get to play it, but obviously I could still come out with some thoughts and feelings from this gameplay, since prior to this we had pretty much zero gameplay. If you guys have no idea about this game and you missed my previous video on it, essentially the game in its current state is two decently sized maps, although they might look massive on the map screen. Apparently they are nowhere near as big as they seem. Hero described them as 1 kilometer by 1 kilometer arenas. There's 8 players that go into these little raids or whatever you want to call them, and then obviously everyone could escape or no one could escape. It's much like Escape From Tarkov, but obviously an Xbox version of that, which doesn't exist. It is obviously Escape From Tarkov with many of its amazing features ripped out, such as its incredible customization of the character, the stats, and the weapons primarily, since it is a post-war Norway setting. It's not like you've got these super futuristic weapons to modify and stuff like that, but there is still some things in this game which Escape from Tarkov doesn't have, although I can't really list too many of them. There's airdrops, and also you can actually customize your little house, apparently, and collect resources and level up that as well. So not only are you obviously progressing in terms of your stash of weapons and deciding to bring those in a raid if you do want to risk them to then get more weapons through airdrops and killing other players, but you're also working on your little house. I know, truly revolutionary. But if you guys do know the development progress of Escape from Tarkov pretty well, the whole hideout system is pretty much exactly the same as what you already have in Vigor, but it does seem a bit more detailed than that. I don't know, because the information regarding the hideouts for Escape from Tarkov are a bit vague. They've been just really vague for a while now, so I guess we'll see when that actually comes out, but it does seem like that is pretty much a very similar system, which will probably be more detailed. But this is your little house, which you can go to and test out your weapons at a shooting range and stuff like that, and improve this thing. So it's cool that it's at least in-game right now, and clearly the game hasn't just been whipped up in 1 second just to make a quick buck, although I do definitely question why the hell Bohemia are making an Xbox exclusive, considering their entire audience are clearly PC users. I'd say the motivation may be money or something. Maybe you're trying to, you know, tap into that hole in the market, with there being many EFT people who just can't play it because they can't afford a PC or don't have a PC. So don't worry, you can just play Vigor whenever that comes out at some point later 2018 or early 2019. The plan is for them to, from what I could see, make it so you can pay to access the game through a Founders Pack in 2018, later 2018 that is, and then eventually the game is going to be free to play in 2019. Apparently there's also crate unboxings in the game, so I guess that's how they are going to monetize it. Obviously with the game being free to play, we do need to have some kind of monetization system, so that's how we're going to do it. And I'm not going to lie, I like the way the game's looking. Like I said, I don't think the gunplay looks sensational, but there is a decent amount of variation in weapons. Things are looking just pretty decent. There's still, like I said, some really big issues going on in the game, but it looks okay, right? Doesn't look terrible. I'm not gonna lie, this might be my first and only video on Vigor, purely because of the hardships of recording Xbox footage, at least currently, with my setup, or maybe if you guys like this, maybe we can go look at it and actually play it a bit more. But I wanted to give you guys at least a bit of information about what's going on with it and stuff like that, since I think people have been able to play it for the past few days. As long as you signed up for the alpha back at E3, you probably got access to it. But Bohemia did send me one key and give me access, so it's nice that, like, I feel like at least Bohemia actually, like, know I exist, because it hasn't felt like that the entire time I have existed, because I am a big rude guy. But anyway, I want to show you guys quickly, just for TLDR, that there is actually a tutorial, or not the TLDR, but there is a tutorial, which is cool that that is also in game. It does start off in the lovely little the tunnel where you would have seen the trailer start off, or yeah, I guess the teaser, which were released back at E3, and then obviously the gameplay a day or so after that. And this thing does explain pretty much everything there is to understand about the game, which really isn't that much to understand. You know, you go over, you go to airdrops, you get some nice loot from it, you get some blueprints and all that good stuff. Again, I don't know the ins and outs of it because I literally don't have a capture card, but there's really not too much super deep gameplay going on here. You know, the game is early access or game preview, whatever you want to call it. So yeah, I can just look at this footage and realize, hey, this is how this basic mechanic works. I'm sure I missed some things, some more complicated things, but there's not many of those things, so we all good. But yeah, I've talked about this before, but it does seem like Bohemia are just going a bit weirdly off in random directions with these games. Like I said, Argo, Wildlands, and Vigor, all three of them raising some big question marks of what are Bohemia doing. None of them really having a major success. Argo, although it still does have 100 or so players playing it every single day, it definitely wasn't the huge success of a free-to-play game with microtransactions that I'm sure Bohemia hoped it to have, since it was supposed to be some kind of esports competitive kind of game. It definitely is not that. And Wildlands is, I have played it, it's kind of like Minecraft, but a bit more detailed. It's actually pretty cool, and maybe it'll pop off in the future. But it seems like Bohemia just made a shit ton of money from Arma Free, and then they were like, hey, let's make random games and see if they pop off, kind of thing. Instead of focusing on their core products, Arma and Daisy, I guess, they are doing random other things. But that's okay, you know, once you got some money, it makes sense to invest it in other random things and try to make a bunch more money and try to make a bunch more people happy as well. Although I'm sure money is the main intentions here, not so much making people happy. Otherwise, this game would be on PC. But that's okay, I get it. I love money too, Bohemia. I'm not pointing any fingers. That's perfectly fine. But I would definitely say the biggest thing this game has going for it is the environmental art. I think something which was always lacking in Escape From Tarkov is the overall goal of it being one day an open world survival game with all of these raids connected in some way where you can just, you know, wander around, run into random other players and not have the whole raid premise around it. Although it still does have the raid premise around it, the environments just seem so much more worldly, I guess. They are bigger in some ways, at least bigger in some raids. There is definitely some big raids in Escape From Tarkov, but all of them still feel just like a big box to me. They don't feel like an actual open living world. You can see these environments which Bohemia have crafted with the little shorelines which are all rocky, the little bunkers, and you know, the snow place is awesome as well. I like them a lot, and that's definitely my favorite thing I've seen during this gameplay section. Things like caves as well. They've clearly put a lot of time and effort into this stuff. I think it's one of the biggest things, which is really, it's a shame it's not being capitalized on with Daisy Standalone. They've had some amazing artists clearly come through and make some awesome assets with the RPG, the M136, the Little Bird, the biplane I think they had. They've got so many things, so many assets already prepared to be put into Daisy Standalone, and they were just never rigged in to be actually, you know, usable in Daisy Standalone. One day I'm sure there will be, maybe, with all of the flying planes and stuff like that. I'm not so sure, because it's been literally years since we've seen that. But it's nice that since we're using Unreal Engine 4 with this one, not only do we get a tasty little FPS, even on an Xbox, and beautiful graphical fidelity, but it also seems like it's pretty easy to add something into the game, since there's already, like I've said before, a bunch of people who are heavily experienced with the usage of Unreal Engine. Whereas if you want to hire someone to develop your wonderful Daisy standalone game, you kind of need to rely on your in-house knowledge to teach others how to use their engine. Unreal Engine, there's thousands of people around the world who are very, very experienced in it. So if Bohemia wanted to start a new game, which they did with Vigor, they just need to find someone who's got experience with Unreal, and kaboom kabam, they're going to be able to get you know, weapons, assets, and just gameplay features in really quickly instead of having to worry about that in-house engine, which I personally think they should have ditched a long time ago for them actually going to make DayZ Standalone. I get why they did it, because it's an MMO engine, but it really isn't an MMO, is it? It's still 50 players per server. It's a big map, yes, but it isn't really a one which has many players in it. It just doesn't feel like an MMO. I'd rather it was a smaller map with more players, to be honest, but that's just me personally. You can run around on that game for hours and see nothing. Don't get mistaken, that can also happen with this game, it seems like, with it only being 8 players per server, but I do believe you have plans to make this at least a bit higher, 12 or maybe 16 in the future, but I think 12 is the number, or maybe 16, I can't remember, is the number which we talked about during their E3 little interview. But anyway, that's pretty much it for Vigor. This was 2 hours or so of footage edited down. Obviously we got some frags, we got some extractions, we got some loot, and we also shown off the little base, which obviously the player was going back to then shoot their newly acquired weapons, and also do a whole lot of nothing. If you guys want, I can just go ahead and get an external capture card and just set this whole thing up, but I really just said, nah, fuck it, I'll just get someone else to record it for me, and I think I've pretty much got the general gist anyway, so, but maybe if you guys really want me to, this is ultimately Bohemia's new survival game, so, you know, and it does seem like Hero is honestly struggling a bit with this game right now. Like, what's he doing right now? I mean, he's opening, okay, so you can't pick up a loot. Okay, you picked up a loot, and now you want to go to extraction, right? Yeah, okay, he's got it. No, he's got it. It's fine. My bad. So the extraction's right over there. You can see these are all marked by these little orange, like, tent things. And obviously he's getting some intense radiation aids. I'm not entirely sure why. And boom, he's extracting. Literally Escape From Tarkov. I don't know why Bohemia acted as if this was a new genre. No, it's not Bohemia. It looks okay, but it's literally Escape From Tarkov on Xbox, okay? Don't make it sound anything more or anything less than that. But anyway, thanks a lot for watching, and I'll see you guys next time when we will open up some crates. Maybe. Alright, peace, boys.